from what we're saying.
Good morning and good morning. Let me correct an impression, Shola. The roads are a bit free because schools are on holidays. You know, school runs also make the road busy. Not because people don't have
but even before the school
Even before the school closed. Okay, me, I park my car at the house, no fair.
Yeah, actually, that is a big challenge. Amechi is a mixed bag, some people will say. Are we recycling? You go to some countries, they recycle some things and they come out better. And you recycle some and they never remain the same. So we have politicians that have been ministers, they went to be governors and they are back. You have Badaru there. You have El-Rufai, you have Wike, you have Umahi. If you look at the newspaper headlines, sorry for diverting, you will see that the screaming headline is Wike, El-Rufai, Umahi, but you don't see Badaru. Badaru is hardly mentioned in the headline screaming because what has it done? What did it do in Jigawa? So that is aside.
Have you visited Jigawa?
We have technocrats among these persons are nominated. El-Rufai is an architect.
Yes.
Good. Probably he will fit in. Probably he will fit in the Ministry of Housing. Wike is a barrister. Probably he will fit in as Minister of Justice or whatever.
So you know who Latif Fabem is?
So we hope that the choices or the choice that the president has made will help him deliver his much anticipated renewed hope. And we hope to see how they bring in, some of them have been governors, what they used to govern their state in the last 8 years, if they will bring it to play and to ensure that all these challenges we are facing will be in the board. But we also need to stress that if there is no money to run government, these persons will not perform. They were in control of their states, some of them, that's why they performed. But now they have a president and they need to go through the National Treasury to assess whatever funds. So I wish them all the best.
Okay, Teve, the two of the nominees have publicly in the past said they won't want to get involved with ministerial. Wike, for instance, said, insinuated that he was too big for a vice presidential slot. Now he has been made a ministerial nominee. He has not rejected that. Nasir El-Rufai also said that he's too old and tired. The president should leave him alone. Now he's a ministerial nominee, and he has not rejected that.
Amechi, good morning to you. Good morning, Nigerians. When there is a call to service, if the president calls on you and says, Amechi, come and serve, you ask yourself whether it's act of patriotism to say yes or to say no. A lot of issues and all of that, but for me, I think after 60, 56, 58, 59, 60 days, to be very honest, I was impressed with what I've seen from the 28 names, and to me, it also points to one thing, that the strength of Tinubu as a person is in his team. What he did in Lagos.
Yeah, as good as your team.
Yes, as good as his team. To me, it shows that, look, we've been complaining, this he has not done this, he has not done that, but with the team that I saw, because some of them are persons that we know closely, and we know the capacities that they have, to be able to deliver. Definitely political considerations, are also in 2027 is part of it, settling political interest group. The Badaru you are talking about, don't forget the the governors, especially of the North, they were the ones who stood their grounds and said power must shift to the South.
And what we learned was that they were even promised the vice presidency, one of them.
Yeah, and he stood his ground. And if you also see the list, you also see that the president has been able to wade off a lot of pressure. A lot of pressure. If you look at
the governors from the Northwest.
Yes. If you look at the
so it could be a
consideration,
compensation.
Yes.
The president defied, went beyond that agreement and picked a former governor and the senator from the Northeast as his vice presidential candidate. Now, he appears to have moved to settle those former governors in the Northwest.
Exactly, So we must, yes, we will see the quality, but we also expect that they will also perform, because it's a different thing to have the quality, to have the circumstances and the right condition to be able. And if we know the president as somebody who supervises, not unlike what you have before, you just give somebody a responsibility and you go and sit and allow the person to deliver or fail. I'm sure he will, put his foot on it, and get the job done. To me, when I saw that yesterday, I said, perhaps this is the renewed hope the president was talking about. I want to believe to a very large
So you
extent,
think
we'll see
this
results.
is a positive step, right step in the right direction?
And if you look at it, or even with the political settlements, yes, Cross River already has two nominees.
John Eno and
yes, Edu. Bauchi already has two. Tukuru, who contested for governor, Party also contested for governor in Bauchi, you know, and all of that. So clearly, I think my concern with that list is, you know, the young people. Yes, Edu 36, the other lady 38 or 39. You know, I was expecting that we'll see more younger person. A number of them are in their 50s, you know, heading to, you know, and all of that. But whatever it is, I think it's a good one. And then for women, clearly 25% so far, which means if he's going to keep his campaign promise of having the 35, we should be seeing at least about 5 to 6 women out of the you know, 13 that, or 14 if he's including the FCT, you know, that will be appointed. And I think is what it is. Let's hope that this team will eventually hit, and he will also assign the portfolios. It's a lot of the commentary we hear, he didn't say assign portfolio, he didn't send portfolios, and no, this is not the first time. Since 1999, that has not been done. Even within the 60 days, if there was no constitutional opposition, because the constitution that is opposition now, you know, it definitely today we wouldn't have been talking about this list, you know, as it was. So perhaps maybe until we get that, but I want to believe that, you know, he will get them in the right places. You know, we're already hearing a lot of things and all of that.
Did you see more of some technocrats?
Exactly, I did.
How many?
From my state,
Like,
from my state, for instance, the young man is Professor Utsevi. He's a technocrat. He's a current rector of the newly established Federal Polytechnic.
More names?
You know,
Pate,
who again is there?
Okotete, well, she's an executive director in one of these federal government agencies as we speak.
No, I think she's also a politician.
No, I'm not saying she's not, you know, because oftentimes, if you look at it, remember what this man told us, former CBN Deputy Governor of Operations, Samsudeen Usman, says, if you're a good technocrat, there's no way you should not be a politician. That's what he said during his screening in 2007.
That is a good technocrat.
Yes, that you should be a good politician.
And I encourage all of us, even all of us on this platform, we must get interested in what is happening. If we stay aloof, we allow charlatans, which is what has happened all along. We must show interest. Even if you are not a partisan, you are not a card-carrying member, you know, we have access to some of these people who can advise them, you know, and if you have the opportunity also, so that if we allow all sorts of people, you need to look, and that's a challenge at the local government level, that's a challenge at the state level. You see persons who should not, you know, come any close to public office.
But
you know,
looking at this list, are there many unknown names, as it were?
Can we deal with the known names? Can we
Yes.
deal those who were in office?
Yes.
El Rufai, he's just finished the governorship.
Because the majority of them appear to be known.
No, almost all of them have held one public office
Yes.
or the other. There's nobody, I'm not sure there's anybody on
Like
that list
Betty Edu.
who has not held one position or the other.
Betty Edu.
Yes.
She's the national women leader presently. And I think we should get
was
She
the
was a
commissioner.
commissioner.
Yeah, she was a special advisor on. She was in charge of
Health.
primary healthcare in Cross River before she became commissioner. I think we should also get this right. We said 2 persons from Cross River. I think it's not right. I think Betty Edu is picked as a South person, and while the other Kutete is representing Cross River State.
It's the same thing. I didn't know from Cross River. If you are not from Cross River, you can't be picked from South. The 2 party and this person, definitely one of them is from South. We expect that also the North, they will pick somebody from the state.
In all, we expect.
Is there infusion of the private sector? Under Obasanjo, we saw how he went outside the shores of the country, got some Nigerians in diaspora, working in international institutions, brought them back and mixed with politicians and technocrats.
Maybe amongst the
Yar'Adua did it.
The
Even Buhari did it. Some technocrats, some diasporas were brought in. Are we
So
seeing some now?
far, it's only party that we know that was former Minister of State for Health.
Who was working in international
that went to
institutions.
get. He even got an appointment as the world president of vaccine,
Gavi.
which he
the people
rejected. That he wants to come and serve his father. I think that is the only person so far we have seen brought in from abroad or brought in with his knowledge.
This is not cast in stone. You are mentioning Obasanjo. Don't forget, when Obasanjo came in 1999, who were the persons we were seeing? Was it not the Jerry Gana, the Chiromas, and all those people? Before eventually he was able to, whip them off.
Second term.
So you use your first term to consolidate then use the
it's
politicians
to settle.
to consolidate. That's consolidate
And that
the
is what
power,
the-
and thereafter you ship them away and bring in
but
the
also
people
and
that
I
do the
think
work.
when-
That is if you have the second opportunity.
And I think that is what the president has been able to handle that aspect of that with the infusion of the technocrats, you know, in his first team. You know, we don't even know the other 13 or 12
I mean, I don't want to
But,
agree
but,
with
but,
that.
if you look at the 28 persons nominated are mostly from the APC controlled state, and the state like the River State where Wike controlled it. You get what I'm saying? So the remaining 13 are from probably the PDP and Labour Party states and NNPP states. I've nobody yet from Kano. And nobody yet from Abia State.
Even
Nobody
Plateau,
yet from.
it's not the issue of that the other parties are controlling those states. You need to understand even the internal policy within the APC in those states. In Plateau State, for instance, there are 2 power blocks. We have the Dare power block, and then we have
Jolajan.
No, like Jolajan is in PDP, and then we have the
Okay,
Lalong.
yeah.
Minister of
So
Sports.
this are in all. If you look at it in all the states, you know those are the challenges. You know, and I'm sure he's trying to weigh the options. You know, to be able to come out.
So Amechi, sorry. So as we continue to look at these nominees, I want us on a program like this to quote unearth what we need to unearth about each and every one of them. The good things they've done, the very bad things they have done while holding public office or in private life. It will help the Nigerian
Yes.
people. It will help the senators to know where we are
Holding them
headed.
to account. That's what we'll do subsequently. But let's remind you that Ujo Hanenye,